Hello, hope you're having a great day. This is a quick book review of Einstein, His Life and Universe by Walter Isaacson. This is my second book from Walter Isaacson, and he does a pretty good job on biographies. There seems like to be a lot of detail of the person's life, and he uses many sources, it seems like. But anyways, in Einstein's early life, it's apparent that his family valued education, and I believe that, like a lot of them, that his family owned like some kind of electrical company that provided power or something. And one time they were having problems with electrical, something to do with electricity, and they were spending a lot of time on it, trying to figure it out, and they couldn't find a solution. Which Einstein, when he showed up, and he was just a young child, he he figured out the solution within like 10 minutes, I believe they said. And it was like that was like early signs of him being like pretty intelligent. Which one thing is, he read a lot of books, and that seems to be a common theme with all these biographies I've read about people who have done great things, is they read extensively, and they read all kinds of stuff. And like when he was young, I believe it was tutor. I could be wrong on this, but I believe he was a tutor for Einstein. I think he was a tutor for mathematics. He gave Einstein some of the books, and one of them was Aaron Bernstein, People's Books on Natural Science. I believe it was a collection, and that tutor's name was Max Talmud, by the way. But in that Aaron Bernstein, People's Books on Natural Science, he tells readers to envision writing on a light beam, and gives it a thought experiment on that, which highly influenced Einstein and creating general relativity. There were some other books. There was like many people that he read about their works, or their the works of other people, and he extrapolated upon that and came up with general relativity. One of those books was from a guy named Fopel, or that's the author there. And it was Introduction to Maxwell's Theory of Electricity. He got some influence from that. There was a lot of things in Einstein's life that helped influence him to come up with the work he did. Like when he was young and he was sick, his father gave him a gift of a compass, which prompted him to like heavily think about like how it worked and what was creating it and everything, and got him into magnetism and stuff, and electromagnetism. And like even Einstein, when he started going to college, there's a quote in the book where he said, "I played hooky a lot and studied the masters of theoretical physics with a holy zeal at home." And when he was in school, he wasn't that good at making an impression on the professors and stuff. So when it was kind of shocking that after he graduated, he couldn't land a job as a teacher, because like he wasn't really that trying to make an impression, fit in with everybody and stuff. So they weren't really feeling and hiring him as a professor, and give him a teaching job. Plus, a lot of people said he sucked at teaching. Like even people that liked him were like, "Yeah, he's not very good at that." But before he went to the Polytechnic School of Zurich, he went to some other school, and I think this heavily influenced him on being able to come to the conclusions he did with his work. Was Johann, and this school had the way they did things was based on some research by this guy, or method by this guy named Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi. Sorry, forgive me for pronunciation on words. I'm not that great, but if it involved, the method was like to be hands-on and to do a lot of visualization and whatnot. And Einstein even like there's many quotes in the book from his like letters and whatnot, where he says how creativity is more important than knowledge, and about how creativity will like basically get you to be innovative and everything like that. And he says a lot of his work was like really done with creativity, which is true because he did a lot of thought experiments and visualizations and whatnot. And even when he was like, he would be working on something and he's getting kind of stuck and whatnot, he would he was a violin player, and he really likes Mozart. Like, I think there's a quote in there where he like highly praises Mozart, and he'd get lost in the violin and stuff as he pondered the idea, and then as he would do that, he'd come up with the answer while he was meditating, doing the violin, and he'd go back to work. Um, Another thing about Einstein was he was an independent thinker. He didn't really follow what everybody else believed. Like, even that's how he like some of the people he read, they would work on stuff and they'd get close to the ideas that he ended up developing. But the thing is, they were being held back by conventional methods or conventional what am I trying to say? Conventional science that were believed to be stone cold facts. I think some of them was a lot of it was with Isaac Newton. There was like when Einstein developed his work, it was some stuff that contradicted Newton's foundings, and that was because he was able to step outside the box and kind of not let that confine him. And he was an independent thinker in many ways. Like, when it came to politics, he wouldn't just go with one narrative. He would hold both sides in his mind and balance each or topic or viewpoint of each side, and like kind of weigh in on each one and develop his own thing. But like even like he used to be a pacifist and would tell people not to do any kind of science work for the military because it was just fueling war, and he was really against war, and was like did a lot of activism to try to stop people from doing science for military aspects. But he kind of changed his mind on that viewpoint when Hitler started gaining power and doing the stuff he was doing. He's like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about that. It's kind of necessary and stuff to be on the side that's just and stuff, and giving them the tools they need to overcome this. So he was taking back his stance on that and telling people, no, we need to put our science efforts into stopping this. And the people who were still pacifists couldn't, like, they were having a hard time understanding why he changed his mind about that. But he'd always been against war, really. But like he knew it was a necessary evil, but because of the circumstances that the world was placed in at the time. But he also, and this got me thinking a lot. I'm still thinking about this, contemplating this. But he was a big advocate for one world government, and his reason for that was because he believed it would stop war, because and that government would handle disputes with people or different countries and whatnot. Which I've always been, I never give it much thought, but I always just assumed a one world government would be a bad thing. But I understand that would be a great benefit if war would cease, at least at first glance. But I'd have to spend some more time to actually think about that. But he was really pushing that in many ways. Another thing was, after his work, people like Bohr started getting into quantum mechanics, which I think was derived from Einstein's work. And Einstein really didn't like the idea of quantum mechanics, because it was just like, he didn't believe that's the way the universe should function, and he was just kind of, he didn't like how elusive and contradicting reality, his view of reality. But the thing is, he was working on simple solution. What was it called? The theory of everything. He was trying to find an equation that would link magnetism, or I think it was electromagnetism and gravity, or was it time? I'm not sure. But he was trying to make a simple equation that would link a lot of the fundamentals of physics and stuff. But it seemed like in the book, my impression was that he was spending a lot more time trying to debunk quantum mechanics, or raise questions that, not debunk probably, but raise questions that caused the people who were heavily involved in the quantum mechanics to like be puzzled and like try to come up with experiments or solutions to the ideas he brought up. But overall, this was a great book. Einstein lived a crazy life, involved in all kinds of stuff. Oh, one thing was he had a club of things that helped. Some other things that helped him develop the general relativity was he landed a job while those teachers were like denying him the professorships and stuff. He landed a job at a patent office, which he was able to finish all the work within a certain amount of time. I think it was like a few hours and stuff, and he had the rest of the day to work on his general relativity and to ponder those ideas. And some other things that I think helped influence that was there was a lot of patents at the time with clocks and stuff, so I think it got him thinking about time and giving him thought experiments to deal with general relativity. And also there was like a big clock out the window, I think, where at the patent office he worked at. And then aside from working at the patent office and having the time to do what he wanted, he was part of a club called the Olympia Academy, which was just basically friends who were like mathematicians and whatnot, and they would like bounce ideas off of each other. Like I think he got like a breakthrough through talking to one of his friends from that club, and of course the people that he read heavily influenced him too. And it was just like everything fell in place to like help him, to give him the keys he needed, or the pieces he needed to create general relativity. Yeah, I'd highly recommend reading this book. Also, this Benjamin Franklin book here, An American Life, that was a very very good one too. These are books. I've been reading books here recently that Elon Musk said were highly influential to him, and this is one of the books on the list. I have others in my videos if you want to check them out, but nothing compares to actually reading the book and spending some time with the ideas and seeing. It's kind of like you get a peer into their lives a little bit. But anyways, have a great day. Thanks for listening. Bye.